to share with you some takeaways from a conversation I had a week or so ago. And that was interesting. We were talking about what the numbers tell us and what statistics mean. And we ranged from the economy through to sales and marketing and all sorts of things. So here's a few of the takeaways. In the last 5 years, so 2019 to 2024, so last 5-year period we've got some information for, the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, which is how the government measures inflation, rose by 24%. That's the cost of living increase that you experienced. But actually the Retail Prices Index, which is what they used to use, which includes house prices, and the Consumer Price Index doesn't, but we do all live somewhere, rose by 34%. And any of us that go shopping will tell you that it's closer to 34% than it is 24%. That's interesting. What's shocking is in the same period, GDP, or all the money that all the businesses in this country sold, rose by 11%. Not profit, revenue rose by 11%. And in order to just stay flat, businesses would have need to have increased profits by 34% in the same period. And they didn't. It was 11%. Which I think tells us why the statistic you hear all the time that's thrown around, which is 80% of small businesses go bust in their first 5 years. And the numbers are right in that. 80% of businesses go bust in 5 years. But it's not small businesses. 80% of all businesses go bust in every 5-year period. That's what the Office of National Statistics tell us. And if you think that that's wrong, just pop into Comet, Woolworths or BHS today. So that's a contributing factor. Now those figures are from the ONS, they're from the government. I'm going to give you some of my figures over the last 10 years, thousands of businesses that I've talked to. It takes me somewhere in the region of about 100 businesses, so I need to reach out to 100 businesses to get 3 of them to be prepared to have a conversation about how I can help them grow their business. Which is interesting because when I mentioned GDP only rose by 11%, if you look at the number of businesses, about 20% of businesses manage to match inflation, which is why 80% of them go out of business, because inflation goes up and the business doesn't. But only about 3% outperform GDP, outperform inflation. So 3% are willing to seek help, and 3% manages to grow consistently. I'm not even saying they're the same 3%. I can't prove that. And it's not my help that I'm talking about. This is way bigger than me. But if you want to grow your business, if you want to outperform inflation, seek help.